All right, Donnacha O'Callaghan, you were at Ireland's first game of the Six Nations, Andy Farrell's first game in charge. So, what was different? Maybe starting with defence. Were there any tweaks compared to the end of Joe Schmidt's time?
I don't think there was a whole lot. I probably need to watch back the video and have a detailed look, but there's the continuity of coaching, and I think that's a really good thing for this group. They know Andy Farrell, they know his defensive systems. Of course, there's game changing moments within all the games, so I think everyone's looking at defense maybe in a different way. But if you were looking for a new system or a new style of defending, that isn't the case, and I actually think that's a good thing. If we had got a new coach, you never know. Do they want to have a drift defence? Do they want to work from the touch line in? Stuff like that. So the lads are really comfortable with what they're getting. I just thought it was incredibly physical. I just thought Scotland brought their best performance in maybe 2 years. They were obviously the moment with short hog to draw the game or to at least be in the hunt, but I just thought it was proper test match, and there's a lot of work for us to do. Ireland will improve and get better, but to get that type of a result, they'll be delighted with. I think the defence was tested at times, and there's parts of it that will need work. But just the general scramble, and I think the moment of that was on clear bus. If you watch back to see Josh van der Fleer, just the work rate of the guy, nearly to start spooking the ball carrier to step in to the defensive system as opposed to looking for the space outside. So I thought he was incredibly impressive in his defensive performance. Of course, CJ made an awful lot of turnovers. It was a pity young Caelan didn't last as long as we would all like to have seen. But in 4 minutes to make a poach at international level, he's certainly at at that that point where he's well able to step up.
Attack is probably the one that everybody was most interested in terms of what would change there because there is a new attack coach in the shape of Mike Catt,
Yeah.
and what would he bring to the table, and would he have time to instill something new in terms of what you saw there that was potentially different? Obviously, the try, there was something a little bit different there. There wasn't
Yeah,
as much of the
Keane
pick
did
and
a
go.
great job. Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, was there enough of a style shift?
No, again, I think it was quite similar. I think you're right. My cat, he's going to put his impression, and I'd say Richie Murphy would be probably better pleased with Johnny's try because it was a skill. It was a skill by Keane Haley to be able to make that offload. So maybe what we would have seen before is that he'd have two cleaners either side and carry the ball into contact. But it was an incredible bit of skill out of Keane. Takes all the punishment, and Johnny that we've seen being able to run around that corner and do such a good job. Um, I think we were still very strict to our structure of exit, so we did still box kick an awful lot to get out of maybe even from 40 metres on from our half and even closer in. I personally, I don't think that's a bad thing. I like that we exit that way. I think it's efficient, it's smart, and when you have players like Conor Murray and John Cooney, you'd be foolish not to do that. So look, I do think there's loads more that can be worked on. The big area is probably the set piece. I think our line-up functioned well, but our scrum was disappointing, and I think it's only now people will see the value of Rory Best. Rory Best is like a tight head playing at hooker. He locks out a scrum like you've never seen before, and Rob Herring and Ronan Kelleher, they're incredible players, but sometimes when someone's gone, you understand their value, and you got to see that yesterday with the scrum. So look, hopefully that's an area for John Fogarty. But for me, I think that's an area for the likes of maybe Keane Healy and Tyke and all that front row club to step up and take ownership of.
Right. And in terms of course, John Cooney was one of the big talking points beforehand. Would he come in ahead of
Yeah.
Conor Murray? Of course, Murray started. As you mentioned, the box kick was something that was used in terms of an exit in the first half, particularly. Cooney came on later. Was there any change in emphasis?
No, I think to be fair to him, and in fact, he used the box kick quite smartly twice when he saw wingers off, and that's what I like about John Cooney. He's a heads-up kind of player. Sees the wingers closing, what you'd call in rugby, closing the gate, knowing that there's space there, and just being efficient how he moves his pack around. Look, it's certainly a brilliant tussle between the two of them now, and that's exactly how you want it to be. You want guys fighting it out for places, and it's competitive, but I think he had a good account of himself when he came on, and that's the way you make an impression in a team. Come on, keep having positive moments, and he did that. But I think I just feel there's a bit of a negativity around the performance, and they're not giving it the credit it deserved. That was proper test match rugby, and we came out on top, and we were lucky. We had our rub of it, but sometimes you need that.
Okay, and finally, what is happening on Game On tonight? And did you watch the Super Bowl halftime show?
Yes, that's the main chatting point on Game On tonight, the Super Bowl halftime show. What about Shakira, guys? Huh? Unbelievable. In sport, it can be quite ageist. 43 yesterday, and I think everyone will go on about Patrick Mahomes' performance. That was the performance of the night. So, yeah, we're going through everything. Obviously, we're going through all the Alliance, hurling and football. Brilliant weekend. We'll be wrapping all that up. We'll be chatting to Ruby about the Dublin Racing Festival, and obviously chatting to Stephen Ferris about the rugby, Stephen Higgins from Cross Court View about the tennis. You're sorry you asked me now. We've loads and good crack, of course, with Marie and Ruby. Should be a good show.
All right, good stuff.